Hey everyone, this is Jeremy, and today we are taking a look at the T-Rex fighter from the Unmatched system of games. Now, the T-Rex is from the Jurassic Park Dr. Sattler versus T-Rex set. This is the second licensed Jurassic Park set, and it features prominently the T-Rex, which is Unmatched's first large fighter. And when we say that she is a large fighter, she is large. The T-Rex is probably the most famous dinosaur from the original Jurassic Park film. And yes, she is a she because all the dinosaurs at Jurassic Park are female. Did you not watch the movie? You should know this. And so let's just take a look at how big this T-Rex is. So we have the T-Rex mini here, and this is Dr. Sattler who comes along with her, and Dr. Sattler is like, is tiny. I mean, look at this. Oh my word. It's like, she like goes right there. That's insane. I mean, I can go with like a larger mini, which Bigfoot is one of the larger minis previously, but just compared to T-Rex, I mean, it's just that's just nothing there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. T-Rex is a melee fighter with a health of 27. 27. Look at this thing. This is ridiculous. I mean, we'll go look at a normal thing here. Here's like Dr. Sattler's like 13 health. I mean, T-Rex is a large fighter. She can attack up to 2 spaces away. At the end of your turn, draw a card. And of course, the quote at the bottom is, "Roar! T-Rex," because that's all T-Rex says. While we are talking about the special ability here, let's go ahead and first address the bottom part of it here. At the end of your turn, draw a card. Okay, this is not an optional draw a card at the end of your turn. You just draw a card at the end of your turn. So T-Rex is not going to last very long into exhaustion, because even besides the maneuvering, she is going to be taking damage from that draw every turn. Did not point out here that her move is 1. Yeah, 1. She can like run and keep up with the Jeep, but her move is 1. So yeah, you're going to have to boost a lot with T-Rex. One space. Wow. Okay, now we get to the other part of this here. She's a large fighter. She can attack up to 2 spaces away. Well, the attacking 2 spaces away is pretty, straightforward here, because she could, she is a little prone to that. If you tip her on that side, she falls over a little easy. Not so much that way. She's pretty solid that way. It's just kind of that direction. But she can hit fighters that are 2 spaces away from either space that she is in. And yes, she is going to occupy 2 spaces. Let's go ahead and talk about that. What we're going to have with T-Rex is we look at the base here. We see that we have the circular part here, which will line up pretty well with a normal. Yeah, this will line up pretty well with a normal Unmatched fighter base here. And what you look at is that you center this in the center of a space. When you first place her, she'll just be in 2 spaces. As she moves along, the back of it will point towards the last space that she was in. And as she moves, you'll keep part of it in the other space. If she can touch any other space while centered up on there, on this here, then she occupies both. You get to somewhere like here, and we can see that her base there, she does not quite make it to that gray space there, so she would only be in 1 space at this point. She would only occupy 1 there. But most places she is going to be occupying 2. Not only is she in both spaces there, but she's also going to be in every zone that she is in. Like we can see here that we have a blue and yellow space there. We have the blue and we have the yellow and green. We don't have anywhere on the map where blue and yellow actually meet up with each other and share space. Well, that doesn't matter with T-Rex because now she is in the blue and the yellow space by the back of her being in that one. Kind of the same thing here. We don't have any yellow and light gray lining up, but it happens there. And this, of course, brings in ramifications on other maps like Sarpedon, where you have like the green, the blue, and the red that don't actually cross over into any other zones. Well, they do here. She can be in this spot here and actually be in 3 different zones while not being on the tricolor spot. So a card like Yanaga's Jaws of the Beast would ramp up quite a bit because she would be in 3 different zones there on that. Also, when maneuvering around, this just goes to the space that she was in last, to be able to move a different direction or something, like if she's going this way, so, you know, rotating around to be able to move a different direction. The rotation doesn't cost you anything, it's just the space movement that does. Additionally, as a large fighter, there are some maps that have effects that don't apply to hers, such as she cannot go through the secret passages on Baskerville because she is too big, but she is also not beholden to the one-way direction arrows on raptor paddocks. All right, let's go ahead and start getting into some of these cards and see what is going on with this fighter. So let's see what we got going on with her deck here. 15,000 pounds of muscle, an attack of 3. During combat, ignore the value of your opponent's card. After combat, take 2 damage. So this will, if it's not fainted, deal 3 damage to the opposing fighter. And she is going to take 2 damage. And you get to see T-Rex takes a lot of damage herself, which is how you can manage to have a 27 health fighter in Unmatched. Reckless Lunge, an attack of 3. After combat, deal 3 damage to the opposing fighter. Take 3 damage. So once again, whatever damage that 3 up there does, usually not much. And then if it's not canceled or fainted, it's just deal 3 damage to both of them. Early in the game, you can afford to do that because, you know, you got a lot of health there. When dinosaurs ruled the earth, there are 4 copies of this. An attack of 2. During combat, you may boost this card. So throw that 4 at it or something. After combat, if you win the combat, draw 1 card, gain 1 action, take 2 damage. So you get to draw a card and gain an action, and you take some damage. So you can get a little combo going there, but it's going to hurt you a little. But you also draw a card in it, which is pretty scary. You're just making her angry. This is a defense of 1. During combat, you may boost this card. After combat, if you won the combat, return this card to your hand. So this one's handy that you can throw another card on it. And if you manage to ramp it up enough, you get to where you win combat and this goes back into your hand. So you can kind of recycle these cards a little bit there, but it does cost you a little bit. Ripples in the water. Place T-Rex in any space in her zone. Then each opponent with a fighter adjacent to T-Rex discards 1 random card. It is each opponent discards 1 random card, not they discard a random card for each fighter they have adjacent to her. So it doesn't wrap up to multiples like that, unfortunately. As far as placing her in her zone, this is kind of true of any time you have to place T-Rex. You have to place the base in one spot and then pick the other one that it will be in. That back doesn't necessarily have to be in the same zone. If there happens to be no space in her zone with another empty space adjacent to it, then you can't move her and place her. It won't happen because you can't stick the other side of her in the space that somebody else is in. They can only occupy 1 space. 65 million years of gut instinct. Choose a card in your discard pile other than 65 million years of gut instinct and add it to your hand. There are 2 copies of this. So this lets you bring 2 cards back out of your discard pile and stick it to your hand. You can't bring this same card back or another copy of it, so you can't get a loop going. So there's no looping going on with her, but this does let you bring some cards back since you have so many cards that require you to boost, and also because you will be boosting so much for movement because of that one move. Closer Than She Appears. And yes, this is right out of Bloody Mary's deck. This is actually really quite clever because this works really well if you remember the scene where she is chasing the Jeep, and then the Jeep, and they're like, oh, must go faster. Yeah, well, they grab that there because objects in mirror are closer than they appear. Move T-Rex up to 1 space, draw 1 card, gain 1 action. And once again, with that move 1, this is a very useful card because it lets you move up a little bit more and gain a card and an action. Getting into some versatiles here. Terrifying Roar. 2 copies of this, a versatile of 3. Immediately, fighters cannot leave their space for the rest of the turn. So there's 2 ways that this can be really, really good here. If they're already adjacent to you when you play this, if they're attacking you, you can play this, and then they're going to be stuck there, right there next to you at the start of your next turn, where you'll be able to get 2 actions and maybe some more with all these action gains. You can also play this on first turn, and if it isn't fainted, so they will pretty much be stuck there unless someone has like a card with an immediate movement effect, and there's not many that have that on defense. So very powerful card and a very scary card when that gets played on someone. Thrash. Versatile of 2, 3 copies. During combat, you may boost this card. So this is another card that you can boost. If you win the combat, deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter in T-Rex's zone. Some nice things about this being during combat, you'll generally know what their defense is going to be to know if you want to boost it. And you also know if you will still be adjacent after that, or if they're going to run off and move because of some card effects. Going to some common cards now. Commanding Impact, which we see in both Sinbad and Luke Cage's deck, and we see T-Rex doing her best Commanding Impact pose. I mean, she's got tiny little arms. What do you want her to do here? It's an attack of 5. After combat, draw 1 card. It just helps keep up the card advantage there. And finally, we get Momentous Shift, a versatile of 3. This is kind of a reverse artwork Momentous Shift because most of them have, something kind of going up. But they're trying to show that scene from the film where T-Rex was able to push in that glass top of the Jeep down and pin the people underneath it. Versatile of 3. During combat, if your fighter started this turn in a different space, this card's value is 5. So, yeah, lots of scary, nasty things that T-Rex can do. So, as you see, T-Rex has a bunch of crazy attacks in there. She can use some of these as attacks. She doesn't have a lot of defenses. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This 10 cards is the same amount as the Raptors, which will make this the lowest number of defense cards in a standard 30 card deck. And obviously some of these, like Momentous Shift, are better not played on defense. Although you can recycle, you're just making her angry. Yeah, T-Rex is terrifying like she should be. And at 27 health, well, as we saw in here, there's some ways that 27 health can get you down a lot. Let's go ahead and pull out all the cards here that deal damage to T-Rex and see how much damage she can actually do to herself. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Then we have the ones that deal 3, 15, 18, 21. That is a lot of damage. I mean, most fighters at Unmatched don't even have 21 health with their healing, although you'll probably be boosting with a lot of these, so you're not necessarily going to always do that much damage. And speaking of the boost, let's go ahead and sort these cards out by boost values and see what we have. And as we look through it here, we'll see that these two defense cards here are the only ones that are 1 boost, so you're probably not ever boosting with those. You've got some 4 boosts here. We have 10 cards with a 3 boost. That's a third of your deck. 15 cards with a 2 boost. That's half of your deck. So you have a lot of cards here that can be used to boost to help move T-Rex around when she maneuvers, or they could be used as boost fodder for other card effects. So generally, how does T-Rex play? Well, she needs to be a very fast, aggressive fighter. She is not going to be around for the long haul because of this ability and just by the nature of her cards. It takes a while for these cards and for your opponent to chew your health down. So if you can get in early on them, that 27 can really be an advantage for you early in the game. You'll see that she'll be a lot like raptors in that she'll want to be very aggressive and attack very early, and also she can get a lot of action gains. So she plays very much like one big giant raptor. She doesn't have the pinning ability, but she can attack someone up to 2 spaces away, which is a huge benefit for her. Okay, so I said that the T-Rex can't pin, but it was pointed out to me that that's actually incorrect. On some maps she actually can, such as this corner of the bronze here. If the T-Rex is to maneuver her 1 space to right there, she now has this fighter pinned as there is nowhere for them to go. You're in a bad spot there, Angel. Not sure what you're gonna do. But she can be attacked by melee fighters who are adjacent to either space that she is in, or she can be attacked by ranged fighters from any zone that she occupies on either of those 2 spaces. So yeah, that is a lot of places she can be hit from, so that's the downside to being large. So really, T-Rex, big, scary, aggressive, fast pace, needs to get to you early. If she hangs around in the game a long time, her chances start going down. But she is so big and so scary and has such big attacks and such crazy action gains and cards that can make you stay in place and not run away that she can be absolutely terrifying. So what did you think of this video? Do you have anything that you want to add about the T-Rex? If you do, go down into the comments section and leave your thoughts. You can give this video a thumbs up and a like, which will help other people find it. And you can also go to my channel and subscribe or look at the other content that I have there so you can see everything that I post about everything else Unmatched. We will see you around next time.